Hey guys, Tony here with the quick weekly update on AMC. We're going to go over the box office real quick and do some TA expectations for next week. The weekend box office estimates are in at $70.6 million made this 3-day weekend at the domestic box office. 13 days into the quarter, that brings the domestic box office to $201 million. There's going to be people jumping on this number and saying it is low. We're going to look at my forecast spreadsheet in just a second. We are tracking exactly where I think that we should be 13 days into the quarter. Remember that the Q4 numbers in 2024 are going to be very heavily weighted towards the second half of Q4. So from now till the middle of November, these numbers are going to seem light. And then the big names, the big releases start dropping right before Thanksgiving and continue throughout the remainder of Q4. Looking at this weekend, the heavy lifting was done by Terrifier 3. We saw that movie this weekend as well. It is not a scary movie, but it is definitely a gory movie. So if that is up your alley, go check that one out. We have a lot of the leftover movies from Q3 continuing to pull the weight here this weekend. The Wild Robot, Beetlejuice, and Transformers 1. For this quarter, Q4, I have it estimated at about $2.4 billion. That is my hope. We want to beat at least $1.8 billion so we can have a higher number than the 2023 Q4 box. So stay tuned and we'll continue to provide you weekly updates here. Looking at the spreadsheet here where I track each movie in Q4, if the box is in green, that means that it is meeting or surpassing my expectations for revenue brought in for Q4. And you can see that all of these movies are meeting or exceeding where I thought that we should be right now, except Joker is going to fall short. It's only brought in $51 million so far. I had estimated that it could bring in as much as $120 million during its entire domestic run. This one is going to fall short. So we're either going to need to adjust the forecast or hope that one of the movies later this quarter brings in more than expected, which often happens. All of these green boxes mean that we're right where we should be for this early in Q4. Remember that looking at the purple boxes, the big tent poles for Q4, all of those come the second half of the year, starting about November 22nd. We got Wicked, Gladiator 2, Moana, The Lord of the Rings, Craven, Mufasa, and Sonic the Hedgehog. My forecast for all of the wide releases for Q4 is just around $2 billion. All of the limited releases make up the difference to round out my forecast at $2.4 billion. We track it in the right-hand column, so we're 168 million in and just about right where we should be for this early in the quarter. Stay tuned and we'll provide weekly updates. Now let's move into looking at the chart and a quick TA look of what to expect from AMC this week. Looking at the daily chart for AMC, we closed Friday at $4.17. We did get the hoped for bounce towards the end of the week at the bottom of this demand zone. The RSI is very oversold, so hopefully that bounce up continues, although we're going to, of course, get all of the bears and the naysayers saying really bad things about the box office because they're not really focusing on the fact that the heavy lifting for Q4 is going to come in the second half of the quarter. They're going to want to put out as much negative sentiment as they can here in October when the box office by appearances looks really, really low. Moving over to the weekly chart, the candles continue to trend lower and trade below the moving averages. So we are just going to have to wait and see what Wall Street has in store for AMC next week. My hope and my expectation is that we will find some support here in this demand zone and at least at a minimum stay flat, hopefully push up. Remember that if this support zone breaks and the price falls under $4, my expectation is that it could trade considerably below $4. I don't really think that that is going to happen. We have the upcoming earnings in early November, and we are expecting a profitable report from AMC. For Q3, a surprise beat on the numbers. Stay tuned and we're going to be tracking this and I'll be providing you at least once a week updates on the TA. TA is a little bit difficult and I know people say it could go up, it could go sideways, it could go down. My expectation looking at the chart is it is likely to trade flat. My hope is that we get real support here in this demand zone and start pushing up a little bit as we get closer to that earnings date in early November. Let me know your thoughts about the TA, about the chart, what you think is going to happen this coming week. Let me know which movies you saw this weekend and what you liked, what you didn't like. Thank you for watching. I am Tony Denaro, and I will see you on the next video.